Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the Blood and Thunder track here at the 2018 Roller Derby World Cup. I am Captain Manus. Alongside today, we have Archie. Hi, Archie.
Hello, how is it going?
We're okay. We've had some exciting games. Some very exciting games. Let's see. We've got an interesting one here as we have Norway versus the West Indies. Both these teams coming off losses, I believe. Norway had a very, very tough morning. The Windies lost a very, very tough game against Sweden. So we will see how this goes. Both these teams looking for their first win, guaranteed to win for one of them. So that's something.
I believe Norway played Australia earlier on, which equally extremely tough game to kick off their tournament.
Ooh, got to have probably the loudest cheered points we've ever had so far. Today, they got in the last jam, managed to pick up them points.
Yes, I was announcing on another track, and it was still deafening even over there when that moment happened.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Shades of previous World Cups with Scotland getting the first points against the USA. This is something we always love in the underdogs here this weekend.
So this bout will be kicking off shortly. Norway are in the red jerseys with the black trim, whereas West Indies are in the black with the red, yellow, green sides to them.
Beautiful. And as I have discussed a little bit earlier, for those of you who caught the wake-up show, I have a lot of interest in the West Indies. I think they might be the dark horses of this tournament. I think they could really come in and turn some heads. They've got a good, strong core of skaters. I think they just need to get their gameplay on track now. Sweden was a very tough out for them. Really caused them to struggle, unfortunately. So here we are with our first line. I believe that is. I
believe it is 3-8 tantrum here for West Indies.
It is, and that is 77 Winberg for Norway. A lot of movement at the back by Winberg, but Tantrum picks up lead jammer at the front. She got first lead jammer against Sweden as well in their first game today, and the first points for the Windies.
Winberg still struggling at the front of that engagement zone, got a tripod to beat. Good reformation again by the West Indies, good defensive work here, and it looks like a cut track penalty has been drawn with that move, therefore first power jam of the game to West Indies.
Yep, and Tantrum is going to take full advantage as she picks up 5 points there. First scoring pass for the Windies. That was the first scoring pass.
Yep, excellent refereeing there by Dyer Rowe. Was awarded the 4 points, then realised that it was the power jam situation, awarded all 5.
Yep. Quick correction there by the experienced referee.
Very strong offence here from West Indies. Really not letting Norway settle and get any sort of wall here.
I think we're going to see shades of France versus Wales, where one team loses their first game, comes in very, very strong in the second. Big check there to Tantrum on the infield. Winberg though now is out. Ooh, bit of a pile up there at corner 3 and 4. Direction of gameplay penalty issued to Samuel Smaxon.
Meanwhile, Tantrum does call off the jam, and I think once those extra points are added on, that is going to be a 20-point jam. I think once those extra ones are added on. No, I stand corrected. Yeah, still it's 20 after all. Announcers curse malice. What can we do?
We can't help ourselves. It's what we do. It's what we bring to the game. We curse everything. So we have, I believe that is...
I believe it is prisoner cell block now.
It is prisoner cell block.
Indies.
And she gets lead jammer 2 for 2 for the Windies here, coming out with some desire here to get some points on the board and get that first win. And it's a power jam now. Norway's jammer in the bin.
Cell block just using brute strength to force that last blocker out the engagement zone. Have to let them go after 20 feet. And that's going to be 5 more points.
And smartly calling that off. They're going to get fresh legs out there with the power jam start. We're here on the Blood and Thunder track, as I said before. And the start line here is sponsored by Rollercon. I'm sure you've heard of Rollercon. If you haven't heard of Rollercon, you need to look up Rollercon. That is an interesting and amazing event. Well, look on that, as I said, the sponsors of our starting lineup.
So not only is this going to be a power start for the West Indies with, I believe, McLean as the jammer, it is also a pack advantage for West Indies, who are quickly swarming those blockers, which is just, lead jammer awarded.
Yeah, McLean and prisoner Selbach both weren't played in the Sweden game, so definitely very fresh legs there. And we've got Una now coming out of the box on engagement, runs into a strong wall from the Windies and comes to a complete stop. And now knocked down to the outside of corner 2 and run back there. I believe that is by Kendall Brown.
Meanwhile, that is another 4 points there for McLean. That was a hard end one though, some good defensive work there from Norway.
Well, Norway doing a lot better to try and slow down the Windies jammers that time round. Good. See here, that little tap to the inside draws Norway in and then takes the space around the outside. Lead jammer.
Yeah, lovely bit of what that. So I think it may be Beater Parker for Team West Indies here.
And you may see when she comes around the track, there's some interesting face paint Beater Parker has on in every game. And a very smiley jammer as well. Back at the front of the pack though, the Norway jammer, that is Hemmer. He's just on the shoulder and the chest of the last couple of blockers. Tries to hop to the infield, but there's no space there. Ooh, just trying to draw the cut, but can't get back fast enough. Beater Parker.
And lead has been picked up, although jammer was knocked off track at that same action.
First lead for Norway in Jam 4. Beater Parker though, out now and speeding down the track on her scoring pass.
Now, the Norwegian jammer had earned lead, however, they did then remove the star cover, so I believe this is now going to be a 2-minute jam.
It is indeed. We've got a minute of that left as Hammer tries to hop to the inside, runs into a solid hip check though from the Windies, and that brace 3 at corners 3 and 4. Beater Parker's out front though and scoring. And Norway pick up their first points of the game with 4 there for Hemmer.
Hemmer coming back now onto the second scoring pass, getting a bit of offense there from a teammate, trying to take that inside.
A lot more static now here at corners 1 and 2. Pack spread out around that. Hemmer at the back, slips through the inside. Lovely work there, drawing the Windies to the outside and then taking advantage.
Norway have really settled down in this jam defensively after some shaky first couple jams.
I think getting some points on the board will really help their confidence as well. Seeing that 0 up there for a little while can really get under your nose. Here we see that move from Hemmer there, drawing the Windies to the outside, all the way to the line, rounds the hip straight to the inside. Good technique there.
That's something a lot of leagues teach their jammers, always try and draw them to the outside, shortest distance on the inside.
Yeah. Let's talk about Sweet 18, sweet18.com, where you can get awesome brands including Punky pins, ball bags, American socks, Sisu and band apparel. Portion of profits from all sales through Sweet 18 are donated to the Claire Long Foundation from Brain Cancer Charities. Sweet 18, wear, roll, give. Another lead jammer though here for the Windies.
That is Tantrum.
Tantrum got the first, she's got it with the second jam as well. Oh, forearms penalty though for the jammer. That is number 70 time Torture. Gonna go sit down for 30 seconds.
Another scoring pass here for Tantrum. 10 points so far this jam and plenty of time to work. West Indies have tried to gain control of the pack definition here.
With the Norway blocks experience, they would have waited off track, but didn't. Jumped in now and there to be goated. Violet attack quickly realizes and drops back, but not in time to get the goat. the entirety of the bench crew for the Windies screaming at Tantrum to call it. He does not hear it.
And when the call-off did come, the Norwegian jammer had been released, so both jammers will start the next jam.
That's going to be Prisoner's Cell Block versus 77. That is Winberg. So a good, comfortable lead here for the Windies with less than 10 minutes played. Got a comfortable 44-point lead.
Just seeing on our screen there that Brady Punch has a few fans in the building today, a few signs for them. Meanwhile, Winberg is lead jammer here, however.
I believe Winberg had lead in a previous jam and lost it, and again, gets lead but has not been able to hold that front position in pack. Remember, for those of you listening at home, you can tweet us or get us on Insta. Send us photos of your pets watching the derby with you. Personally, I'm a fan of cats. Some people are fans of dogs. You know, some like reptiles. Who cares? But the hashtag is hashtag RDWC2018. If you've got a cat that likes to watch the derby, well, I like to see that. Back on track, though, we have 2544 McLean with the start for the Windies.
And for Norway, I believe it is Hemmer.
Yeah, 31. No one's been able to get out front for lead yet. As I say it, of course, that's when Hemmer gets lead. Third one for Norway so far.
Nice little juke on the outside, almost completely unimpeded, and calls off the jam.
Nicely done there by Hemmer. This is the first jam where Norway have been able to score and not allow the Windies to score, which is good for them.
Yeah,
building in that confidence.
Yeah, first shutout there on the points. Looks like beat her Parker again for West Indies.
Against number 79, Torture. A little bit of jockeying position of the jam line. I like to see that, get that little bit of an advantage early. Strange pack definition. But it is a 4-on-2 blocker advantage for the Windies. And Peter Parker took advantage of that.
So crucial at this level to try and keep as many blockers on track and together as you can.
We saw in some earlier games some teams completely in control with 4 blockers, struggle with anything less. Peter Parker finds a gap through the middle there at corner 2, picks up them points.
Meanwhile, Torture with the helmet cover in hand has made it out. She's now putting that back on so she can pick up those points on the scoring pass.
That was beautiful work there by 808 Bowser. Opened up the outside line for Peter Parker. Peter Parker got through with ease. All the points. Thank you very much.
So update on those scores. It is 16 at the moment for Norway and 66 for the West Indies.
We got about 18 minutes and change on the clock. 4v3. Oh, beautiful work. Violet attack there. Open up the inside line. Helping Tantrum get through with ease. I love that when you see your blockers helping your jammers. It's beautiful to see. Violet attack the pivot heading to the bin. It's going to be a big pack advantage here for Norway as 4 plays 2 in the blockers. Oh, plays 3, sorry.
I believe that was a cut track picked up by Violet attack on offense. So just a quick note, if you do tune in at 7:30, that is UK time, after the final game of today, you do get a day one roundup, looking back at all the action and the best highlights, along with interviews and live studio audience participation. So do stay on the stream after all the games have been concluded, because you do have the day one roundup still to come.
Yeah, I've been looking at some of the potential highlights for those, and we've got some great stuff for you. Hemmer with the star for Norway, number 31, up against McLean. That's 2 leads in a row for Hemmer now. fact, that might be 3 actually, off the top of my head. We'll check the stats later, but Hammer there now on scoring, as is McLean. McLean from the disadvantaged position gets that scoring pass first.
Looks like Norway are going to let this run, try and recoup that, or at least get the blockers out the box. Yeah, that was the plan.
It was the plan, but it didn't help though, as the pivot number 12, Edge Lingra, picked up a penalty at the end. The referee just doing a little bit of confirmation there before the skater went to sit down. It is Winberg versus Prisoner Selbach at the jam line.
Okay, jam underway then. And Prisoner Selbach is lead jammer.
A lot of confusion in the bin there, but it does appear to be sorted. Penalty picked up by number 47? No, 37, Mike Jobson. How about picking up another square pass?
Winberg now coming on for the next scoring pass. Jam called off before that can happen. Successfully called off. 0 points for Norway, and West Indies got another 3. So that was an 8-point jam in total. Just getting another look there at that massive hit on the Norway jammer.
We've hit that 15-minute mark, so the jam referees are swapping over now. They're changing their team signifiers. Tantrum with the star against 79. Torture. Tantrum.
So both jammers have made it out, but Norway with Torture, she is lead.
Yeah, but there's not much between them as Tantrum is chasing down with Torture there, picking up the pace, but the entire pack is at the back. Oh no, a stumble there from Kendall Brown. Could have been really unfortunate. If she was picked up, that was all the points.
Torture was enthusiastically urging her teammates to get to the front of that pack so that a West Indies blocker could have been picked off for some points, but didn't get that in the end.
Yeah, but wisely calling it before Tantrum could get into the pack and pick up the points that she maybe not been able to.
Yeah, if you're not going to score points of your own, at least stop the opposition from picking up any.
Oh yeah, as we always say, the differential is what matters, not how many points you score. So number 63 with the start, Speeder Parker. And it does look like Norway being recycled at number 31. But they have got a real penalty problem at the moment. They've barely been able to field more than one blocker at a time. Lead jammer issued, and straight away a cut track. Violet attack, popping Hammer off track and dropping back. And I think Hammer mistakenly may have believed that it was going to be a no pass, no penalty.
Peter Parker now getting taken off. However, the initiating blocker also knocked off track.
This is a good chance for the Windies to calm down their penalty problems now they've not got to focus on offense and defense at the same time.
Looks like they were attempting to open up that inside line there, but good defensive work again from Norway.
Yeah, Susie Hotdog there sitting on the jammer the entire time.
Yeah, Pivot doing a great job there.
Oh, and the Windies caught napping as Hammer exits the box. Straight through. That now is their initial pass.
Good penalty kill there from Norway.
It is a star pass to Rockefeller. And Hammer on the back of Kendall Brown with Violet attack in front as well. Peter Parker bridging out. Violet attack with the shoulder check to the inside. It's a forearms penalty to Violet attack. And she's yielding her position to leave the track there.
Yeah, Violet attack just been assessed as having pushed out slightly to get that jammer off the track. Cannot do that.
No, that's the naughty. Well, 5 points there for Hammer to 4 for Rockwell on that pass. Hammer straight through for a further 4 points.
Nice bit of agility there just to weather that block, stay on the line.
Rockefeller now picking up 4 of their own.
So just get another look there. That outside line was wide open, coming straight out the bin there for the Norwegian jammer.
Let's talk a little bit about cheese balls, precision skate bearings, cheddar, Gouda, Swiss, pepper jack. Get your cheese on with cheese balls. Available in the vendor village, the Quad Skate Shop booth, or online.
Okay, action back underway. It is McLean up against Winberg. Both teams with one blocker currently in the bin. Just as I say that, the Norwegian blocker does return now, and so does violent attack for the West Indies.
Back at the front of the track, it is not lead jammer for McLean, but they are definitely about half a track ahead of the Norwegian jammer, the 77 Winberg.
Looks like this is going to be allowed to run, so let's see who gets the best of it.
McLean sees a space down the inside line. So after that little bit of a fight back from Norway there, the Windies re-establishing a little bit of dominance. Got about just shy of 60-point lead, 59 points for those of you who are good at the maths.
Yeah, just have a look at the statistics here. It's actually very, very even on lead jammers. It's 7 playing 6 in favour of the West Indies. So,
but the Windies have not given up any power jams. Norway have given up 2, and the Windies took full advantage as Tantrum trying to fight through just before corner 1 there. Opens up around the outside, lead jammer Tantrum, lead jammer Windies. Jobson sat in the bin for the Windies. A little bit of a sigh of discontentment as they sat down. I was like, I did it again, sort of face. You know, we've all done that.
You know, just hitting the ground there with those knee pads. Speaking of knee pads, you can have durable, functional, stable. The S1 Pro knee pads are built for roller derby. Do check them out. S1 Pro knee pads.
And you should always take care of your knees. They're fragile creatures. They need to be taken care of.
As a man with no cartilage in one of his knees, I wholly endorse that information.
Ditto.
Now, 4-off penalty has been assessed.
It is a cut
track. Sail block. So, Plumber Jam for Norway, that is Hemmer. See Hemmer coming around there, just urging that moment when they want the offence to come. She's going to signal that. There she goes.
Yep. And the Windies wise to its height to pull away. A little gap open up between Samuel Maxim and Regis, and Hemmer takes advantage.
Just drawing those blockers once they're moving faster outside, very easy to get caught in a sweep once that happens.
It's as we said before with the Hemmer's movement from earlier, pull them to the outside, take them to the inside, break them apart. Regis though with running back with Jobson and Samuel Maxim.
Prisoner sail block back on track, working very hard at the front, but I believe is now getting recycled.
That's a cut track issued to the pivot as well. That was a 2-on-7 Benny kill. Hemmer sees the inside line, runs into a stiff block from Regis though.
So prisoner sail block now entering the back of the pack on the first scoring pass, but Norway call that off before any points can be accrued, and another 3 were picked up I believe, so that's 13-point jam for Norway.
Yeah.
Best jam they've had in some time.
I think might have been so far this game. Good for them for their confidence as we discussed earlier. So here we see Hemmer running to the inside, takes that lead jammer straight down the line. Like I say, with Hemmer, you give them much space, they will take it every time. Pick up all those wonderful, important lead jams. This will tell you a little about Roller Derby Elite. Make your mom proud. We're Roller Derby Elite. Where isn't like that? So this is, we've got 2 more games after this one finishes. Coming on to you on the, off the top of my head, will be on the S1 Helmet.co track, and on the roll line track we'll have 2 more games. And after that, the wrap-up show. I do recommend if you've missed any games today, take a look at the wrap-up show. see what we have for you on there. You might see some things you missed. You know, might see things that make you laugh, make you smile. The crowd will be involved. So if you've got friends here and you want, like, you know, see them wave at you on the telly, that's who you can shout out.
Yeah, on the S1 Helmets track, we do have Ireland versus Australia coming up.
Ooh.
And meanwhile, over on the roll line track, we are going to have Iceland against Team Indigenous.
I feel a little sorry for Team Indigenous. They opened up the day on the S1Helmet.co track, and they're ending the day here. So they've had a long time to sit around and wait for their second game. Quick jam, a switcheroo, McLean being pulled back onto the bench, and they're sending out Tantrum. And you know what, there's a lot of great jammers here for the Windies. I mean, strength and depth is very important at this level. As we saw in some previous World Cups, teams who came short-rostered really struggled as the tournament went on. So having those deep 20s or 19s to work with can really, really pay dividends.
Yeah, World Cup's very much a marathon, not a sprint. Once wear and tear and tiredness starts adding up.
Well, I've seen many a team end the tournament with half the team, you know, carrying minor knocks and injuries. So it is 77 Windberg for Norway against that 3-2-8. It is Tantrum. 3-on-3 for the blockers. Norway capping the entire Windies wall there with ease and allowing Windberg to get out, but Tantrum has no quit and is chasing down.
Both jammers complete a pass. 4 points apiece.
The Windies now with the front position. Oh, lovely little bit of offensive blocking from the inside, but a little bit of distance there as Tantrum to close that gap.
It's probably the smart call to make there, because as we see on the replay coming up, the advantage was going to be for the West Indies for scoring the first points there.
Ooh.
Now, Kaya Skates, the Kaya Sapphire lightweight composite shell from the box fit, affordable, durable and available now. It's time. Kaya Skates, do check them out.
That is hashtag it's time for those of you who use Twitter. I don't get it. I'm old. That is McLean there with the start for the Windies, who's just creeping through for lead jammer there. And it's Hemmer on the shoulder and chest of Regis, and joined now by Samuel Smaxon. And a little crash. Oh, and they have locked Hemmer down there at corner 3. That's brilliant work by the Windies to lock down the impactful jammer. Violet Attack getting in on the mix. Regis back in there. Oh, knocked down by her own jammer. Yeah, Regis backing up there to try and get in position and bumped into McLean.
Oh, and it looks like cut track was drawn there, so power jam situation and a full 2-minute jam here. Norway with a chance to get some points on the board.
Yeah, Hemmer's been very impressive so far today. They need to take full advantage of what they have here, which is about 20 seconds unopposed, I think, by my maths.
Nice little slide on the toe stops there by Hemmer just to get that first 5-point pass down.
And to make things even easier, Violet Attack has gone to the bin as well, so it's only 3 blockers for Norway to work with.
Another 5 points on the board there.
Yeah, Hemmer finding some space around the outside.
And just the 2 blockers now at the front of that engagement zone. Some nice work by Norway just to split the Windies up a little bit.
Yeah, a little crash though, did really well one-on-one. But knocked off the outside. Now we're going to worry with being blocked off. McLean back on track. Windies at the back of that. Regis with a little hip check. Doesn't get enough.
4 points on that pass. Hammer up to a 19-point jam.
19-point jam that ended up.
Yeah.
Certainly Norway's best jam of the game so far.
Yeah, definitely chipped away. There was a 50-point differential at the start of that jam. Now down to 31 points. That's easy maths.
I believe that is 36 points.
Oh, there was a 5.
If we're going to do a wee bit of crazy maths.
Oh, what's going on? I wasn't prepared for this.
So Prisoner Cell Block is going to get things going in the next jam once it does get going.
We're just waiting for this official review going on here. I believe it was called by the Windies bench here.
Just a quick shout out to Rydell Skates, proud sponsor of the 2018 Roller Derby World Cup. That is Rydell Skates.
Yeah, we have so many wonderful sponsors here today. And for a whole weekend, really, it was a long weekend. One of them, I think, do some wonderful things here, is the Girls on Track Foundation. Did you know that by the age of 14, girls are dropping out of sport at twice the rate of boys? We think roller derby can help change that. Learn more at girlsontrackfoundation.org. I think it's a great thing, especially with the big push people have, like getting fit and healthy, getting more involved in more sports, and we're a nice community.
Not even just the physical health, but the benefits of just participating in a sport in terms of confidence
and so the social aspects are amazing.
Absolutely.
We're talking Facebook friends here. Like, I think a good 70% of my Facebook friends and people I actually talk to on a regular basis are roller derby folk. We can't even be friends with our head announcer because she has too many Facebook friends. For those of you who didn't know, the hard limit is 5,000. I didn't even know that. I'm not that popular. Back on track, Regis taking the star for the first time today. That's against number 79, Torture.
Yeah, whatever the outcome of that official review was, we're not seeing anyone heading to the sin bin or any changes in personnel, so I'm assuming whatever it was may not have been upheld.
I think it might have been a question on violent attacks penalty because it looks like they have fouled out.
Okay, lead jump has been picked up by Torture.
Yeah, Torture making their way all the way around the track onto a scoring pass. Yeah, this confirmation is a foul out for violent attack.
Out of play call goes up. Torture has to get let go, and she picks up another 5 points for Team Norway. Regis having a tough time in this jam. However, one less Norwegian blocker now to get past, with the 4 ounce penalty being assessed on one of the net.
Oh, I've just looked at the clock. Well, this is the last jam.
This will now be the last jam. Period clock has now expired. We lost a little bit of time just with that official review.
That might have been important. Yeah, that might have been important clock management because Regis is really struggling to get out here, and there's not much left in this. And multiplayer block being assessed. That's now 2 blockers. It's also to be join now, so it's going to be 3, which really is might change the way this works out as Regis makes the way out for their initial pass. And it's still a 21-point differential here, but the differential is going to matter for rankings. So Torture's going to keep going as Susie Hotdog heads to the bin.
That pack is being fiercely contested as both teams are trying to make openings here.
Well, there's only 1 blocker left for Norway on track. There's number 47, Jollywood's going to have to do it all for her team. She goes up against Regis, can't hold her. So Jollywood goes offensive. It's a smart call to make.
Just seconds left now on that clock. And there we go.
Big finale there for the Windies and Norway. Looks like we might have the unofficial final score standing at Norway on 90, the West Indies on 116.
That was a very enjoyable game just to round things off. Just checking out that replay there.
This is Torture picking up the lead jammer here, waiting for that out of play call. Oh, we don't get to see it. The rest of the team, obviously not rostered, are over at corner 3. Now the Windies pick up the win. The Windies are cheering and happy. As the official final score, Norway on 90, West Indies on 116.